Today is my birthday. I'm 34 years old, and I thought it was a great day to reflect. And I want to start off by first saying thank you. I started posting daily YouTube videos every day since March. I think I'm on about 86 in a row, trying to do 100 in a row to speed run my skill and growth and get some momentum for YouTube. But I want to say thank you to anyone who's even watched a second of my videos and anyone who has got anything out of them at all and learn anything, or I could help them along with the journey, then that's amazing. Makes me feel so good. I should also say thank you to my dad, who's watched every single second of my video, but also bought me this microphone for my birthday today. So it's another little 1% that hopefully makes everything I'm doing a little bit more enjoyable and a little more easy to watch. Taking a bit of a tact from today's video, instead of talking about marketing and SEO and content, I want to talk about the things I've learned over the last 10 years, or the biggest factors that I wish I'd known when I was 24 that I now know when I'm 34 that would have helped me achieve a lot more or be more content with my life as well. So if you can get anything out of these to lead a more content or successful life, then that's amazing. So I wrote a few things down that I've been thinking about a lot recently. Number one is you're right where you need to be. You're right where you need to be. This is something that has been on my mind a lot, especially when starting a new project. It could be this YouTube, could be anything I've done really. My girlfriend always tells me, "You're so annoying because you always say things like, I wish I'd started this 6 months earlier." Or I remember saying, I wish I'd started a YouTube channel 5 years ago. And I obviously wish that would be the case. I'd be a lot further ahead right now. But also, I'm right where I need to be right now because 5 years ago, I didn't know what I know now. I was never going to start a YouTube channel because in March 2020, 5 years from the date I started this, I guess, I lost all my freelance work and had to move back from France to the UK. It was COVID. I was scrabbling around trying to work out what to do with life. Ended up starting a completely different business and for a year and a half, which meant I was never going to start a YouTube channel. I don't think also the technology and the knowledge existed for me then. I didn't have enough knowledge about SEO or experience to impart that and help people in the world. And the editing AI technology, which makes this whole process a lot more painless and quicker, didn't exist back then. So I never would have been able to keep up this momentum. So I'm always trying to remember myself. Where I am right now is exactly where I need to be to achieve what I want to achieve. I couldn't have started earlier because I didn't know I needed to start earlier. I didn't have the information, the tools, the knowledge back then. Which brings me on to my second point quite nicely, actually, that there's only one secret for success. Yeah, there's a lot of hacks and courses and tricks out there, but there's only one thing that consistently will help you be successful in life, whether that's with business goals or relationships or even just learning a new skill, whether that could be learning to sing or surfing or write great copy, whatever it is. There's only one thing, and it came from a book I read recently, which is called, it's a Seth Godin book, and it's called The Dip. And it really eloquently explains that the dip is the shortcut, is the secret to success. When you start a new challenge or try and learn something new, you start off with high motivation and you might even get some early wins and you think everything's going great. But in a few days or a few weeks, depending on what it is, you experience the dip and your motivation and your momentum just disappears and nothing seems to be happening and it's all too hard. Most people quit then. Most of my life I've quit then because the dip was too hard until I read this and combined it with YouTube, which I'm currently probably in the dip. Was as you descend into this dip of motivation and results, this is where you're really crafting your skill, your grit, your knowledge to get the momentum to acquire the escape velocity to then get out the dip the other side and rise up towards where you want to be. And going through that dip is the shortcut. Don't give up. Understand that the motivation is going to drop off. Things are going to take longer than you expect. Momentum doesn't come without hard work or a lot of skill or just time of compounding results. And that's the great thing about understanding the dip and compounding returns, that growth isn't linear as well. Some days it's going to be down, it's going to be tough, but keep going through that dip long enough, you're going to skyrocket out the other side. So that is the shortcut. That is the hack. Going through the dip is the hack to achieving what you want to achieve, which then brings me on to something else. This is a bit of a different point, is I read this quite recently. Everyone wants to be extraordinary, but no one is willing to be extra. And that summed it up quite nicely. And it's something I think about with businesses quite a lot as well. With I see a lot of marketing and branding for new companies, and everyone starts out saying they want to be different and they want to be disruptive until they see what different and disruptive is, and then they just want to be the norm because they're not willing to stick their head above the parapet. They're not willing to be poked fun at, embarrassed, get things wrong if it doesn't quite work. And I think that goes for a lot of individuals and people as well. You want to achieve and be extraordinary like the people you look up to, your heroes. But all of those people are extraordinary because they don't mind looking silly, being embarrassed, doing things differently, working harder than everyone else. Whether that's getting up at 6 a.m. on Christmas morning to record a YouTube video, go for a run, practice their skill, whether that's posting content on social media and risking being criticized or made fun of. But actually, if you go and look at anyone online who's ever achieved anything and you go read the social media comments on what they're posting, you'll find it's mainly criticism a lot of the time. Maybe not all the time, but eventually they'll say something, do something which strikes against what people believe or kind of damages their ego. And I think a lot of people criticize people above them or tell them they're doing it wrong or that wouldn't work for me because it's an excuse to comfort their own ego as to why they haven't achieved the extraordinary things of other people. You'll very rarely see people who have achieved success punching down and pushing down on people that are climbing their way up the ladder. It's always the people below trying to drag you back down into the norm or to the, I don't know what's the opposite of extraordinary? Oh, well, ordinary. They're dragging you down to the ordinary. So if you want to be extraordinary, you've got to risk being extra to get there. This next one is something that goes through my mind a lot as well. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it doesn't drive it from your door. And you always hear, you'll hear every rich person ever tell you that money doesn't make you happy. And it's kind of hard to believe if you're not a multimillionaire that how could you not be happy when you could have everything you ever wanted. But even in my small experience over the last 10 years into my 30s, the more money I've earned, particularly in salaried jobs, the less happy I've been. I don't know why, but I know that the times when I maybe even stopped freelancing and earning good money from salaried jobs or whatever it was, rejected frustrating clients, even to the point where I decided I was going to go work on a bar for a few months at the end of my road. I was actually super happy. Like, it was a lot of fun earning minimum wage and just talking to people and having no stress when you finish work, and being a part of a community like that was a lot of fun. And it's an interesting juxtaposition in my life that this probably harps back to the ordinary thing as well. I only have sort of two outcomes that I'm willing to settle for in my life, and they're both the same, but the other end of the scale. One is, YouTube blows up. I build an amazing business. I earn lots of money, but the money isn't really the goal. It facilitates me being able to surf whenever I want and go skiing and live in all these amazing places. But equally, if that all fails and I don't achieve any of that, then I could still live that same life. I could go and work in a ski resort and, do minimum wage jobs and make YouTube videos on the side, which is what I used to do when I was in my 20s. And equally, I could do the same in the summer and I could live life here in Cornwall and surf every day, work on the side and work on the enjoyable things in my life. The only difference is the money is going to decide how much luxury I get to do in that. What will bring me less joy is not doing any of these things and being stuck in the middle and earning just enough money to have a nice car and a nice house, but not actually being able to do anything I enjoy in life, or not having the energy left at the end of the day to perhaps make YouTube videos or do the things that actually bring me joy because I'm stuck in the middle. The money is a happy bonus that, as it says here, money doesn't buy happiness, but it doesn't drive it from your door. So it's not the be all and end all, but for me, it's a part of feeling like I've achieved something, or it comes as a part of the achievement of building something extraordinary with my life. And I've got two other ones here that are really nice in my phone that I've written down and thought about. There's a gap between starting and succeeding. That gap is a filter for those who are serious and those who are not. I think that sums up what I was talking about going through the dip nicely as well. And I'll leave you with this one. What's wrong with having fun on the journey? Everyone wants to skip to the end. And yeah, it wouldn't be much fun without the journey. Just arriving at the end of a road trip would not be that enjoyable, would it? You wouldn't have all the great memories. Skipping to the end of getting 1 million YouTube subscribers isn't going to be that fulfilling and contenting. And actually, for the first time the other day, I walked past the lottery ticket stand in the supermarket, and I've always thought, man, I should buy a ticket because it'd be awesome to win. And you know what? The other day, for the first time, I thought, I don't want to win because what would I do? I wouldn't feel content or that I'd achieved anything if I just skipped to the end.